around the corner and see the grass. It's like there's something fucking music, kind of like, what?
Yes, there's a backdrop of war, but the ultimate underlying message is one of coexistence, peace, and finding hope in a place where there is none.
In the last 9 months, just to get here, and we're not on the island yet, is a huge dream come true. So
He actually
really
came in and helped us, and everything's sort of.
Thank you.
You made my dream come true. I'm very excited to be here, and I can't wait to shoot this film. Thank you all for joining us on this crazy adventure. Over there, dreams come true. Go. Yeah, tilt down a little bit because you got it. The Krieger's got to be kind of.
Gunkanjima for me was like this mystical place, this unobtainable place that I had been obsessing over. The architecture from the island, the history, was so unique. The fact that it was basically a complete juxtapose of, of concrete and nature. So this idea that, if you had to distill the essence of man, of industry, of what we've done on Earth, you might, concrete would fade away, but it was basically concrete and steel that would be left long after we were gone. So this contrast with Mother Nature, there are loads of abandoned, like post-apocalyptic looking places in the world, but none are as clean cut as that.
I knew the place before going there, before meeting Bastiaan, that is. I think I've seen some a photo, like a photo book of the Gunkanjima maybe 10 years ago. It was black and white photos, and when I first saw it, it was just an insane place to be, and I never thought that I would actually go there. It's one of those locations where it exists, but you never really go there. But through Bastiaan, we actually were able to go, and this is a nice location. It's almost like a set, but Gunkanjima it's one of the kind. It almost looks like a ruin of an ancient city, even though it's not ancient. It's concrete buildings, but Gunkanjima looks like somebody left in a hurry, like there was some kind of epic disaster, and everyone just had to evacuate. So you see like little toys lying around, you see shoes lying around. It's the location is just overwhelming.
I really tried to capture the moment, because getting there and being on the island was so special, so like overwhelmingly unbelievable that we achieved it. Knowing all we went through to get there, I didn't have a moment to really take it in, and that's the whole irony of the whole process. It's like you pine over something so hard, and then you get it, and I hardly had a moment to appreciate it, because there were 3 typhoons coming in. I felt like we were going to lose it at any moment, and we just had to get the shots. So the second we got there was a small moment of, this is incredible, this is unbelievable, but I don't have a second to stop. We have to get the shots, because we were going to shoot 4 days. That got cut down to 1 day. So we essentially did 9 months of preparation for a one-day shoot.
For Gunkanjima shots, we actually did a lot of different research, not just looking at the photos and Google street views, but we also imported some files, Gunkanjima 3D files, and we looked at it from different angles and tried to figure out the best angle before going there. So once we got there, we more or less knew exactly where we wanted to go. And once we got there, we knew where to go, and then we start filming. Then when we find a better location, we would just kind of go from there. But very super organized. And time in Gunkanjima, it was very limited. Originally we planned for 2 days of shooting, but because of typhoon, we could only go there for 1 day. But even with 1 day, we got a lot of footages we really needed. So yeah, very organized. Great work by Bastiaan.
There were definitely some hiccups, but nothing that caused like severe frustration. Gaku was there. Gaku-san was there, and he was extremely good at translating if and when it was necessary. But I mean, I like the process, I like listening and learning Japanese. So it's not like I'm twiddling my thumbs, and then they have a dialogue. Sometimes that can be a little frustrating because I feel like I've said something very simple, and it's as simple as I can make it. But then they have like a 15-minute conversation among themselves, and I'm like, well, now I have no idea where it's going, but you just have to let go. And also, what I quite like is that unless it's an extremely technical shot, if something is lost in translation a little bit, it can kind of bring something new to the table. So for me, that was actually really interesting, and it actually really inspired me to want to make more films in Japan.
We definitely had a great relationship. Bastiaan and I had a really good partnership, especially going to Japan. Japanese people tend to like Americans and Europeans quite a bit, and I think maybe it's part of the movie Hollywood influence, or I'm not sure what it is. But because of that, Bastiaan would be able to get a lot of access to a lot of things that Japanese people wouldn't necessarily be able to. But then again, at the same time, because Bastiaan doesn't speak Japanese, he's not able to approach these people. So with me being involved, I was able to approach these people, and then at the same time, I would introduce Bastiaan, which kind of gives that little catalyst, catalyst to people even more, like helping out even more. So Gunkanjima, if it was just Bastiaan trying to get in, that would have been very difficult. But at the same time, if it was just me trying to get in and shoot an independent film, I think that would have been just as difficult as Bastiaan himself. But with us combining forces, with me, getting to the gate, and with Bastiaan talking, that sort of kind of, helped both of us, and we had a great dynamic going.
The goal of this film is obviously to make a feature film version of it. Now, I don't know if that's anime or live action, but I've always worked in live action, and I really pride myself on being one of those artists that can take an old franchise or an old book or an old anime, something in a different medium from film, and adapt it. Stuff that may have gone out of style in the 70s, 80s, but the story is solid. That's really what's essential. The story is solid, and I love to redesign, rebuild, or kind of reimagine everything. Basically, my life goal is this. It's doing this, So